Hey, what's up, people? JayDub here. Going to be giving my review of WWE Over the Limit. If you aren't subscribed, make sure you click that subscribe button up there. Thanks. On to the show. There were some matches on this card that I thought were going to deliver, and I ended up being disappointed after seeing them. But on the other hand, there were some matches that exceeded my expectations. I'll be talking about all of that. What do we get from it? Who knows? We will find out, though. First match of the night, Kofi Kingston versus Drew McIntyre for the Intercontinental Championship. Kofi Kingston ends up winning this match, and he actually got to keep the championship this time. But who knows how long he'll keep the championship, though, because Drew McIntyre, he was bitching and moaning after the match was over with, wanting his Intercontinental Championship match back, the same championship that he just lost legitimately. Kofi Kingston pins Drew McIntyre after the S.E.S. At that moment, I'm like, is that it? Because the match was maybe like 7 or 8 minutes long, but at every minute I'm like, okay, when are they going to turn it up? When are they going to turn it up? When are they going to give me a little bit more? And after asking myself that so many times, sooner or later, the match was over with. And I'm like, like I didn't really feel that it got started at all because it was so slow. Kofi Kingston, he basically carried Drew McIntyre throughout this whole match, but I don't really blame Kofi Kingston for the poor match because we're used to seeing him in fast-paced matches. You know, Kofi Kingston, he just goes wild in his matches, but he just didn't fit well with Drew McIntyre. I don't like this pairing at all, and it didn't, produce a good match. So Kofi Kingston, he gets the win. Second match of the night, R-Truth versus Ted DiBiase. R-Truth wins this match after delivering a lie detector to Ted DiBiase as Virgil just watched outside the ring. And I'm thinking to myself, if I'm Ted DiBiase, why the hell are you just standing there and I'm paying you all this damn money? Like, I don't need you to comfort me after I lose. I need you to help me not get that loss in the first place. But, you know, Virgil, he was just standing outside the ring after Ted DiBiase, Ted DiBiase lost the match. Same criticism for this match as the first one. I really didn't get into the match at all. Not saying it was a bad match. It just wasn't that entertaining. Third match of the night, Rey Mysterio versus CM Punk. If CM Punk lost the match, he would have to get his head shaved. If Rey Mysterio lost the match, he would have to be admitted into straight edge society. CM Punk lost the match and he got his head shaved, or at least half his head shaved. This was a pretty good match. I think this match was better than their previous matches at WrestleMania 26 and also at Extreme Rules last month. I know a lot of people are going to be complaining about the spot where they had to stop the match because CM Punk got his head busted open, and it was a serious thing because he got his head stapled after the match was over with. So yeah, Rey Mysterio ends up winning this match. He shaved CM Punk's head, and I have to. Back to the whole blood thing. I'm not really a fan of WWE stopping the matches with their new policy. They're going to stop the match while they are in progress because of the blood and because somebody gets cut open. But the reason why I'm not in favor of that, I'm not. I won't say I'm not in favor of it, like, I want him to bleed to death or something like that. I'm just saying it kills the momentum of the matches. But I do think in this particular match, they recovered that momentum very well. Because CM Punk, he goes to throw Rey Mysterio outside of the ring, and his head bounces off the back of the barber chair. And it looked like they were talking about maybe he has a neck injury, head injury, concussion, and he was also selling an arm injury. So that the time that they stopped to give CM Punk, his assistance to his head, cover up the wound, it allowed Rey Mysterio some time to recover. And then after that was over with and they got back to the match, CM Punk just went wild. He did a snap suplex, threw Rey Mysterio into the barricade. So, he showed a little bit of ruthless aggression, and I do believe he recovered the momentum, of the match very well. So I'm not going to hold that little spot against them, too much, because they did tear the house down and put on a very entertaining and a pretty good match. After it was over with, after Rey Mysterio won, we had the Straight Edge Society come out there. The Masked Man came out there. Also, then Kane, out of all people, comes down to the ring. He clears out the ring, allows it to be just Rey Mysterio and CM Punk. Then Rey, he handcuffs CM Punk to the ropes and starts to shave his head. And I'm like, damn, Rey Mysterio is like the worst barber ever. He started beating CM Punk to make him sit still and started shaving his head. And that had to be one of the most horrible scenes that I've seen in WWE. It looked so screwed up. It looked like somebody in the chat room on JayDubShow.com was like, it looked like it's straight out of a horror movie. And that's exactly what it looked like. You had CM Punk looking like a fucking mutant or something. He had bald patches in his head, some with hair, some not hair. Then he was just bleeding all down his face. Then you had hair all over his body and his back and on the ring and stuff. And he was handcuffed. It looked real crazy. But yeah, it crazy in a good way. It may sound weird, but you know, it looked crazy in a good way. It was yeah. So I'll say that match was very entertaining. If you can't tell. Next match, Unified Tag Team Championships. The Hart Dynasty versus Chris Jericho and Miz. I thought this was going to be a lot for Chris Jericho and the Miz to win the match, but they did not win. The Hart Dynasty, they win the championship, and this was probably the most noteworthy thing that they've done since they've been champions. I really feel that their reign has been lackluster. They were more impressive during their chase for the championship from WrestleMania all the way up until they actually won the championships than they are in the actual title reign. So, on to this match. It started off kind of slow, but it picked up very well. One moment that stuck out in my mind is where Tyson Kidd, he did a springboard off of the ropes, and he got caught with the code breaker from Chris Jericho, and he actually kicked out from Chris Jericho's code breaker. You're the last world champion. You just kicked out of his finishing move. Chris Jericho, that's what I like about him. He's not afraid to sacrifice a little bit to, put the young talent over. He even got pinned by NXT rookie on NXT. So, Chris Jericho, all of you guys that love the veterans putting the young guys over, Chris Jericho, I mean, he's the perfect guy right there. So, but the Hart Dynasty, they end up winning the match, pinning the Miz after a heart attack. I mean, there you go. I want these championships to be placed on Chris Jericho and the Miz, like the tag team championships. I'm not even paying attention to them until they're placed on these two guys. So, yeah, let's make that happen, WWE. Next match of the night, Randy Orton versus Edge. This match, it was a disappointment. I mean, you have two surefire Hall of Famers in Randy Orton and Edge, multiple-time world champions. They've had so many championships in WWE. I mean, Edge has won, probably every championship, almost every championship that is there. This match was very disappointing. It was. And I'm not even going to lie. The crowd, I was in the chat room on JayDubShow.com. People were like, oh, this crowd sucks. I'm like, no, the crowd doesn't suck. The match sucks. You can't blame them for not being excited about the match because there was nothing really to be excited about at all. Now, I know Randy Orton, he got injured during the match, and they had to give it like a funky finish, a double count out. It was an impromptu finish, just so you guys know. So I'm not going to hold the ending or the injury that Randy Orton got during the match against them. But still, with even excluding those two segments, the match still was very boring. And it's a shame that I'm saying this about people like Randy Orton and Edge. But I thought Randy Orton, he was going to change his whole move setup, change the way he moves in the ring when he became like this new character. Because like if you go back to his matches with when he tagged with John Cena to go against Batista and Jack Swagger on Raw, and even in his one-on-one match with Jack Swagger on Raw, we saw fire from Randy Orton. We saw like he was so quick in the ring, he moved real fast, and this one he was just slow, and this whole match was just plodding and methodical, and I never really got into it. At one point, the crowd started chanting, "This is boring," and for people like Randy Orton and Edge, that shouldn't happen at all. I expected so much from this match, and I just got completely disappointed. And where Randy Orton got injured, I don't know. See, but the thing about that is, I don't know if Randy Orton got injured earlier on in the match, because maybe that's why it was so slow. But it seems kind of crazy actually how he got injured, because, when he goes for the RKO, he starts beating on the ring, and then all of a sudden you see his shoulder drop like that, and it just like completely went out, and that's when they had to go to the double count out finish. But yeah, like I said, the match even before that, it was disappointing. On to the first world title match of the night. World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Big Show versus the World Heavyweight Champion, Jack Swagger. The Big Show ends up winning this match, but Jack Swagger retains his championship. I was thinking of my predictions for this match, and I'm like, I don't think Jack Swagger is going to pin the Big Show clean, but I'm sure he's walking out of there with that World Heavyweight Championship. And he ends up getting himself disqualified by attacking the Big Show with his the world title belt. And the Big Show ends up retaliating, chokeslamming after hitting Jack Swagger with the chair, then choke slamming him on the chair, then delivering a knockout punch, I believe. So yeah, this match was entertaining for how it lasted. I won't say it was a great match at all, but it was an entertaining match. The crowd was more into this than they were the Randy Orton and Edge one. So yeah. The second to last match of the night, Divas Championship on the line, Eve versus Maryse. Eve wins this match with another finishing move. When the hell is she going to pick one finishing move and stick to it? I've seen her do moves off at the top rope. I've seen her do submissions. Maybe she's just testing something out, but hopefully she gets something and sticks to it, because this is the problem with Eve. I don't know who Eve is. I don't get a sense of her personality. I don't know who she is. She's like either not there or all over the place. And this is a great reflection, like I said, with the finishing moves. She has so many. Let's get her with one finishing move and stick to it. But, you know, it was a WWE Divas match, so you don't really expect much from it. But I will say they did put on a valiant effort. It was entertaining to me. Both of them look good, so hey, I guess that's all you have to expect from the Divas these days. But yeah, final match of the night, WWE Championship, John Cena versus Batista in an I Quit match. Superman Cena got ran over by a fucking car, and he still comes out and wins the match. Like, there was a spot in the match where Batista, they were on the stage, and then Batista got in the car and backed up a car. Like, Batista, he was sitting on like the little light display, you know, whatever it's called, like the HD display. He backed up the car, was supposed to hit John Cena, but John Cena just pops out of nowhere, like, yeah, dun, 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 dun. But yeah, he does an attitude adjustment on Batista on the hood of the car. Then the ref is like, do you quit? He's like, no. And speaking of that, John Cena, why don't you put more fucking effort into how you say how you say no? Like, that kind of takes from the match, because I was sitting there laughing at you. Like, and that I said the same thing about his match with Randy Orton, and I Quit match that I think they had last year. Batista, the ref goes up to him and he's like, "You quit?" No. Then after John Cena getting his ass kicked, he goes up, the ref is like, "Oh, do you quit?" He's like, "No, no." I'm like, could you put a little bit more emphasis in that? Like, kind of play that you're hurting a little bit. But yeah, another funny part in the match was when Batista, like I said, he tried to run over John Cena, and he locks the car door when he gets in the car. Like, why the fuck would you lock the car door? Like, okay, do you expect somebody to steal your car while you're on the stage? Like, come on now. But yeah, that was kind of funny. But all in all, I thought this was a very entertaining match. They had a spot where they went all the way up into the stands, like the fans in the cheap seats. They got a little treat. You know, John Cena, he threw Batista off of like a landing. He landed on the security guards, and the match ended. He was about to do the attitude adjustment on Batista while he was on top of the car, and Batista said he quit, the little punk. But John Cena, he did it anyway, and did the attitude adjustment on Batista, and he fell through the stage. And then after the match was over with, John Cena was declared the winner. Sheamus comes out from the back and delivers a bicycle kick to John Cena. So that was this match was better than I expected. I don't really know what to expect from John Cena and Batista. Like, I don't have any expectations for their matches anymore, because they're so hot and cold. Like, they delivered a good match at WrestleMania 26. Then at Extreme Rules, I didn't like it that much. Then at this pay-per-view, this was a pretty good one. So yeah, what's to come of Batista and WWE? People were saying he's going to leave. I guess we'll find out tomorrow on Monday Night Raw. We also have to look forward to them naming a GM. And I'll be on JayDubShow.com chatting during Raw. So if you guys want to check that out, cool. What score would I give to this pay-per-view? Maybe like a 6.75. Yes, somewhere in that range. I'm still so disappointed by the Randy Orton Edge one, because that was a match that I was really looking forward to going into this pay-per-view. And hopefully Randy Orton's injury, it'll probably keep him out for a while. That's kind of sad, but hopefully he's all right with that. So yeah, I am JayDub. Peace out.